So again, guys, we're working on slope-intercept form. Again, we're looking to graph these guys. If you look through all of our goals again, we're looking to graph using what's called slope and y-intercept form. So we'll be able to pick out the slope and y-intercept. We're going to rewrite linear equations in slope-intercept form, which is my favorite form. It's super easy to use. And then we'll talk about vertical and horizontal lines again. So again, we're going to bypass the warm-up for today. We're going to dive right into notes. So right in the middle is the biggest and most important box for today. So let's fill this out here. It says slope-intercept form of the linear equation looks like this, where it looks like y equals mx plus b. Okay? Y equals mx plus b. M and b are numbers. This is a number, and b is a number. So our slope is m. We've been using m before for slope. And b is our y-intercept. Okay? Now, what's a y-intercept? What's a y-intercept? What is a y-intercept? Well,
along the y-axis.
Where it crosses the y-axis, right? So some of us get that mixed up. So here's your x and y axis. To remind yourself which one's the b, put a little hump down here. I wish today was hump day, but it's not. It's Thursday. Put a little hump down there. Doesn't that look like a b? So we're going to put our pencil on the b. We're going to find the y-intercept, and we're going to make a dot on the up and down axis. Okay? So goal number one is to, first off, look and identify your equation and identify your slope and y-intercept. So we want to state that. So I got y equals 3x minus 7. I want to pick out my m and my b. Okay, when you do my math lab, that's the first, or my math lab, when you do IXL, that's the first thing they're going to ask. Okay, so what's your slope? What's the number in front of x? Okay, 3. And then what's your y-intercept? Okay,
-7.
-7. Okay. Now, when they say slope, don't say 3x. Slope is the number in front of x, not with x. Okay. So it's not 3x is your slope, it's just 3. And understand that that represents rise over run, that's 3 over 1. Okay. That's all we got to do. M, B. All right. Rylan, what's M and B, bud?
M is 300, -300.
Yep. And your slope? We're assuming your B is 11, your y-intercept. So slope is -3/4 and B is 11. Perfect. So C, I've got y equals 2/3 x. So Rylan, nice job. M, what's M? Lynn? 2/3. And now, do you guys see a B value back here?
No.
So if you don't see a B value, it's kind of like +0. It's like you don't see it. So that B value is just 0. It's going to be crossing at the origin at 0, 0. Okay. Last but not least, I've got y equals 5. Okay. Y equals 5 is a special line. Do you guys remember what line this is? Remember what type of line this guy is? Y equals 5. This takes us back to our alphabet. U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Okay, so U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Remember, if it's a Y equals line, the slope is,
Horizontal.
it's a horizontal line. So if this is a Y equals line, it's a horizontal line, and it has what type of slope?
0.
0 slope. Horizontal has 0 slope. It's fun to say. Remember, Y is right next to Z. Horizontal, 0 slope. And what does a horizontal line look like? The horizon. Right? Just look straight across. Yes, ma'am.
Would that be considered undefined?
Nope, this would be 0. So my slope is 0.
So what's the difference?
0 is 0 divided by a number, okay, which means that there is rise over run. There's run on the bottom, but there's no rise. It doesn't go up and down at all. It goes side to side only. Where if it's undefined, it has rise but no run. It goes up and down, but it doesn't go side to side. So again, we talked about u, v, w, x. If it's an x equals, cross out the w, that's a vertical line, and that's u and v. That's undefined. So if it's a y equals line, so again, visually, to help you guys out, y equals 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 looks like this going across. That's a horizontal line with 0 slope. Okay, that's just a special case. What's the y-intercept? So slope is 0. What's b? Where does it cross the y-axis? At 5. Okay, so this guy has 0 slope. That's b equals 5. Okay, now I'll add in another one just for fun. Let's be crazy. We'll call this E, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So that's E. What if I had x equals 5? What's the slope of that one? M is, this is an x equals, so that's this side. It's a vertical line and it has slope that is undefined slope. Okay. That's a vertical line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where does it cross the y-axis? At x equals 5 here. The b value, there is none. So it doesn't cross. It crosses the x-axis at 5, but it doesn't cross the y-axis at all. Okay, so I'll put both of those together. And that kind of hits up on example or goal number 4. Okay, do you guys have any questions with example 1? Guys good? All right. So example 2. Whew, there's a sneeze holding there. We're doing notes there, bud. Thanks, Kai. So example 2, we're going to write each equation in slope-intercept form so that we can determine the slope and y-intercept of this graph. Okay, when I take a look, the first equation is in what form? I got 6x plus 2y equals 8. What form is this, y'all? Standard form. And standard form is good for nothing, right? It's good for nothing. No, it's good for something. Remember the cover-up method? Right? It's really good for finding x and y intercepts. Not very good for slope. Okay? Well, we want to put this into y equals mx plus b form. We want to look like this. We want the y by itself. So that means I want to get the x on the right side. How do I get the x on the right side? How do I get the x over there? Subtract the 6x over. Now, guys, these are unlike terms. I cannot combine 8 and negative 6x. Those are unlike. And we want the x to be listed first, so put the negative 6x here and then plus 8 here. Again, one has an x and one doesn't. Don't put them together. I saw that yesterday on the quiz. There's 1 or 2 people trying to do that still. Right? Don't put them together. They're not like terms. Okay? Now, I want y equals mx plus b, not 2y equals. So this 2 I need to get out of here. This is 2 times y. What's the opposite of times? Divide. Now, I'm going to divide over the 2. If I do it to the negative 6, I better do it to the 8. It's like donuts, right? If Andreas brings me donuts and then brings Jake donuts, he better bring them for Landon, he better bring them for Megan and Nat and Ivan. Oh, everybody's going to want donuts. If I divide one guy by 2, I better divide everything by 2 to make it equal. Does that make sense? To make it fair. So go ahead and simplify. These guys cancel. What's negative 6 divided by 2?
-3.
Negative 3x. And then 8 divided by 2 is 4. Okay, so now I should be able to determine my m and my b. M is negative 3 and my b is 4. You guys okay with that?
Yeah.
All right. Let's do one more. Which one do I want to do, B or C?
C.
Do C. C looks scary?
Yeah.
Super scary? Okay. All right, we want y equals mx plus b. Right now, this x is in the wrong spot. We want to move it to the right of the equal sign. So, Andreas, what do we got to do with this 3x? Subtract it. I'm going to subtract 3x over. So that cancels. Now, this is what I get. I get people do 1/4 y. And then some people will try to put these guys together. These are unlike terms. Okay? I should get negative 3x plus 6. Leave them separate. Put the x first, because it's mx plus b. The x is first up here. Okay? Now, something's wrong here. What is wrong? Somebody other than Jake, what do you guys see wrong? Something's wrong with this line here. Morgan. There's what?
A fraction.
There is a fraction, but that's not what I wrote wrong. I forgot something. Do you see what I forgot? From this step to this step? Nat, do you see it? Or Morgan, you see it? Yeah, this should be negative. That happens a lot, guys. Okay? When you rewrite it, sometimes those negatives disappear, right? Well, that makes everything else going to be wrong in the problem. Okay, so watch out for your negative signs. They sometimes disappear, guys. This is mathematics, not math magic. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Good. All right. Sorry, not funny. So as I take a look, I've got negative 1/4 y equals negative 3x plus 6. We want to get rid of this negative 1/4. Okay, now that is technically negative 1/4 times y. I could divide by negative 1/4. But again, if I divide by a fraction, right? If I divide by a fraction, I could just multiply by the reciprocal. So what's the reciprocal of negative 1/4? Jake, what do you got?
-4/1.
Negative 4 over 1. So I'm going to multiply this guy by negative 4 over 1, or just negative 4, same thing, negative 4 over 1. Because a negative times a negative is a positive, the 4's cancel, the 1's cancel, and that leaves me with just y. What's negative 4 times negative 3? What's negative 4 times negative 3x? Multiply those, Jocelyn.
12.
12x, awesome. And then what's 6 times negative 4? Yeah. Shout it. Negative 24. Okay, so now I should be able to pick out my m and b. We put something that looked kind of like standard form. We got it into y equals mx plus b form so that we can pick out our m and our b, our slope and our y-intercept. What's our m? What's our b? Gina, what's m? What is it?
Sorry, 1 second. It's 12.
Yep. What's b?
Negative 20.
Awesome. Fantastic. You guys have any questions with that? Okay. Now, why do we care about m and b? Because this makes it so easy to graph, guys. Okay. So when we're looking at examples 3, 4, 5, and 6, we want it to look like y equals mx plus b so we can graph it. Okay, so here we go. I've got y equals 1/2 x plus 3. Okay, off to the side, I want m and b. First off, what's b? B. B is 3. That's what we do first. Okay, just a reminder. From the front, I said the x and y axis, we're going to put a pencil on the b. Okay, so I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I make a big old dot. Then I do my slope. What's my slope? Griff, what's slope here, bud?
Oh, 1/2.
Attaboy. Okay, reminder that's rise over run, right? Positive, you go up and you always run to the right. Okay, so the little song I have is you put your pencil on the B. It's not hard, you see. Man, we're having fun. Now it's time for rise over run. And then we go, we will graph you. We will graph you. Right? Oh, man. You want me to sing it again? It's like we will rock you. You guys know Queen, right? Oh, man. We will graph you. Get it? Oh, man. So I'm going to go up 1 over 2. There's my slope. So I put my pencil on the B. It's not hard, you see, man. We're having fun now. It's time for rise over run. We go up 1 over 2. That's positive slope, right? It looks like a positive line, straight edge. Boom. Arrows on the ends of your graphs so that I know that you know that you know that I know that I know that you know it goes on forever and ever in both directions. All right. Any questions, y'all? Let's take a look at number 4. Okay. It's already set up. Y equals mx plus b. Dan, what's b? B is 2. So I put my pencil on the B, up 1, 2. All right, Will, what's slope? 3. Think of that as a fraction. That's 3 over what? 1. That means I'm going to go up 3 boxes and to the right 1 box from B. So I put my pencil on the B. It's not hard to see. Man, we're having fun. Now it's time for rise. 1, 2, 3, overrun. So I went up 3 over 1. So now I got my next point. In geometry next year, you guys will learn 2 points determine a line. 3 points determine a plane. I have my 2 points. That's all I need. If I want to be crazy, I could make this nice and pretty and go up 3, 1, 2, 3 over 1, up 3 over 1, and make it nice and pretty. You can go do slope as many times, but you only need 2 points technically. Up 3 over 1, you got your 2 points, graph it. How we doing, y'all? That's not so bad, right? So here we go. I take a look at number 5. I've got y equals negative 3/4 x minus 2. B. Ivan, what's b?
-2.
Negative 2. So that means I got to go down 1, 2. Slope. Megan, what's her slope? Negative 3/4. Very good. Now, rise over run. Negative tells me I got to go which way? And that's going this way, right? Going down. Negative slope goes down and always to the right. Okay? Puff, puff, positive. Puff, puff, positive. Nice. Negative, right? Slope, dude. Down. 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2, 3, 4. That looks like negative slope. Nice negative, right? So again, down 3 over 4. You don't have to draw that. I'm just doing that for notes, guys. The rise and run. Connect the dots. It is definitely negative slope. I'm a skier. Nice negative. Nice negative. That's not so bad. You guys good with that? All right, let's take a look at number 6. OMG, I got big numbers here. I've got y equals 50x minus 10. What's b? Negative 10. And what's slope? 50. 50. 50 over 1. Okay? Now, if I go down 10 by counting down by ones, How am I going to go up 50 and over 1? It's not possible, right? So I'm going to have to change how I count. So instead of counting by ones, I got to count by what? By tens? Okay. So there's 10 boxes up and down. So just to kind of give us a scale, then this is going to be 100. This is going to be a negative 100. This is going to be 100. This is going to be negative 100. So I'm going to count down by tens. So down 10. If you want to make a little mark of negative 10 there, you can, just so you have an idea what you're doing. Okay. You guys okay with that? And then I'm going to go up 50, but then over one box. 1/10 of a box, I guess. So I'm going to go up 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and then over 1/10 of a box. So this thing is super, super steep. It almost looks like a vertical line. It's not quite vertical, but it looks almost like a vertical line. Okay. How are we doing, y'all? Not too bad? Does that make sense why I'm not going over one box? That'd be going over 10. That'd be a slope of 5, 50 over 10, 5. Okay, that's pretty easy, right? Most common mistake, people put the B value on the x-axis. They put it on this one. That's why I say, hey, put a little hump down there, right? Put a little hump down here. That's the B value. The B is the up and down one. All right, all right. Now we get into the algebra. Got a few more minutes. It says here, write an equation in slope-intercept form of the line passing through the given point and having the given slope. Okay? When we did standard form, we always started in the same thing. We start here. What form is this guy? What form is that? Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. What form is that? Yeah, this is point slope. We want point slope, and then we're going to get into y equals mx plus b form. That is your slope intercept form. So we have a point and a slope. We use that to get into the other form. The reason why we use that is it's so easy to use. Okay, number one, you need a point and a slope. Oh my gosh, I did it. Point slop, you guys didn't even say anything? Oh, I forgot the E, Mr. Gotch. Oh man, they did it on both of them. It's not point slop form, it's point slope form, right, Ivan? Oh my gosh. All right, so let's put it in point slope form. I'm going to do that in red. So I've got y minus y1 equals m times the point x minus x1. That was part of your quiz yesterday. This represents x1. This is y1. That's your m. All right, who can plug that in for me? Who can pluggy? Somebody other than Jake. Plug it in. Ivan, what do you got, bud?
Y minus 4.
Y minus 4 equals
3.
3 times the quantity.
X minus 1.
X minus 1. Perfect. So the reason why I love going from point slope to slope intercept is there's always two easy steps to go. Step number one, this guy has no parentheses, so we got to get rid of parentheses here. How do we get rid of those parentheses? What's this property called? Jake, what's this property called? The distributive property, right? So I've got 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. Quiz or test? I'm seeing a lot of people in that last quiz forgetting to distribute the 3 to both terms. Okay. Again, remember, we want y equals mx plus b, not y minus 4 equals mx plus b. We got to get rid of this minus 4. Well, what's the opposite of minus 4? What's the opposite of minus and 4? Ivan?
Plus 4.
Yeah, you're plus 4 over. And you're doing it to your like terms, so your constants, the one without the x's, you're adding those together. So this guy cancels, and now I got y equals 3x. And then what's negative 3 plus 4?
Negative 1.
What's 4 minus 3?
Oh, 1.
Positive 1. And now I can graph that pretty easily. I know my slope, I know my y-intercept. Boom, graph. Okay. I do want to do all these, just because there's different scenarios here. All right, so starting, you got a point and a slope. It's telling you where to start, guys. So, okay, what do I have? A point and a slope? Oh, yeah, Mr. Gotch says point slope. Y minus y1 equals m times point x minus x1. Then we plug it in. This is my x1, this is my y1. That's my slope. Shayna, go ahead and plug those in for me. What do you get? Y minus what?
Y minus 6.
Yep. What's your slope? What's m?
1/2.
Yep. And then x minus, what's your x1?
2.
Awesome. Perfect. So now I have it in point slope. If they said, give me point slope, I stop. But they ask us to write it in slope intercept form. Okay? The nice thing is, it's just 2 steps away. Step 1, distribute. 1/2 times x is 1/2 x. What is 1/2 times negative 2? If you need to, go off to the side. If you need to, go off to the side and do, okay, 1/2 times negative 2. Think of that as negative 2 over 1. These guys cancel. You get negative 1. You get 1 times negative 1 is negative 1 over 1, which is negative 1. Half of negative 2, half of negative 2 is 1. Okay? Now, some of us are really bad at fractions. Okay? Well, guess who's not bad at fractions? Me, yeah. I'm pretty good at fractions. Thanks, Jake. Appreciate that. Your calculator's pretty good with fractions, right? Guys, there's nothing wrong. Oh, R2 says hi. There's nothing wrong with you guys grabbing a calculator to do fraction stuff. Okay? So 5 out of 4 people are bad with fractions. Okay? It's totally okay. So if I want to do 1/2 times negative 2 in my calculator, if you got the fancy calculator, 1 divided by 2, and then times negative 2. Cross center, and I get negative 1. Okay? If you ever get a decimal, let's say I did, just for fun, 1/4 times 7. And I get a decimal like that, there's a thing called math frac. It's in the math menu. So 3 buttons down, math menu, frac is number 1. It'll change any decimal into a fraction. Okay, we didn't have to do that on this one, but that gives you the idea. So I have y minus 6 equals 1/2 x minus 1. Any questions on how I got the right side here? Last step. Got to move this negative 6 over, Landon. What do we do?
Add the 6.
Add the 6 over. I want y equals, now I have that. The 6's cancel. And now I have 1/2 x. And what's 6 minus 1, y'all?
5.
5. You guys good? All right. Let's finish with C here. Just want to talk about this one because I have my slope. If I plug this into my point slope, this is my x1, this is my y1, I would have y minus 6 equals my slope, which is 0, and then times x minus a negative 2 is plus 2. You guys okay with that? So y minus y1 equals n times point x minus x1. I have this. Well, over here, I would take 0 times each one, but what's 0 times anything?
0.
That's 0 times anything is 0. 0 times x is 0, and 0 times 2 is 0. So now I have y minus 6 equals 0. What's my last step?
Add the 6.
Add the 6 over. So I've got y equals 6. Okay. This goes back to the idea of if I have 0 slope, that's a horizontal line, that's a y equals. Y is right next to z. 0 horizontal is a y equals line. A y value. I didn't even have to do that work if you know what you're doing. The y value is your answer. Okay? All right, let's do at least one more before we get out of here. Any questions, y'all? All right, which one do you want to do? A, B, or C? A. Okay. All right, I've got 1, 2, and 5, 6, and again, they want slope-intercept form. Well, if I want slope-intercept form, the first thing I do is point slope. The problem is if I'm using point slope is I don't have slope. I need slope to use point slope. This is where I use my margarita glasses, or martini glasses if you're 007, on the picnic table. And you got to be 21 to drink. y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. This is x1, y1. This is x2, y2. Okay. So I'm going to do y2 minus y1. So that's what? 6 minus what? 2. So that ends up to be 4. 6 minus 2 is 4. And then I'm going to do x2 minus x1. That's 5 minus what? 1. You guys okay with that? 5 minus 1 is 4. So what's 4 over 4? What's my slope?
1.
1. So now I have my slope and I have a point. You can use either point up there. It doesn't matter. I usually use the first point. So I have 1, 2, and my slope is 1. Now I'm ready. I got a slope and a point, or point and a slope. I'm ready for point slope. Pluggy chuggy. All right, this is x1, y1. I've got y minus what, 2? M is 1. And then I have that times x minus x1, which is 1. You guys okay with that? If I distribute, 1 times x is x, 1 times -1 is -1. Now I want y equals mx plus b. What am I got to do here?
Add the 2.
Add the 2 over. So final answer, I get y equals x plus 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. Okay. Now I should be able to pick out my m and my b there, right? My m, if you don't see a number in front, but you do see an x, got to know that's a 1 in disguise. Okay. So we don't write 1x. You have to assume that there's a 1 in front if you just see x. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, if you look at your homework for tonight, it is an IXL assignment. I think there's like 3 IXL standards I want you to take a look at. The first one is so fast, you'll get it done in 2 minutes or less. Make sure you're going back and looking to see if you're missing any IXL assignments on 5.5 or 5.4 or 5.1 if there's an IXL for that one.